Right now on the National Weather Desk, air alert. Smoke still clogs many skies in the east. When will relief finally arrive? El Nino is here. How that will impact global weather as well as this Atlantic hurricane season. Mosquito season, what the wet winter in the west likely means for those summer pests.
Compare the 5 years past, where we have collected more mosquitoes than we have within that 5-year span.
Lightning strikes. See and hear the power of Mother Nature.
It could have been worse. We're all still here, but it was a very close call.
And having a blast. Why officials are destroying part of a canyon that has become popular with hikers.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm meteorologist Emily Gracie. Relief is on the way. The air quality is improving across the east this morning. While much of the region is still going to be under a code orange or a code yellow today, that's a far cry from the red or even purple we saw yesterday. And unlike yesterday, the view of major cities like Washington and New York is a bit clearer this morning. The air is not perfect, but it's headed in the right direction. Well, the biggest concern today are some of the Midwest regions. Places like Indiana, Kentucky, even Missouri could have unhealthy air today. An emergency management director in West Virginia says he cannot remember a state air quality advisory ever happening before. With more on where the smoke is going and when it's going away, here's meteorologist Brian Vandegraff.
And very good morning to you, Emily. Outside across the area, I want to show you the big picture now. This great satellite picture from NOAA and CIRA was a good way for us to kind of visualize the smoke, but there's actually added cloud cover across portions of the Northeast. But down here in the D.C., Virginia, Baltimore metro area, you can kind of see that thin film of smoke. Notice the trajectory, though. Can you see that westerly from east push from west to east? That is a sign that the wind directions are changing, and that should help to eradicate the smoke. As we head through the afternoon today, it seems like southeastern PA into northeastern Baltimore, Delaware, northeastern Maryland, that is where the thickest smoke will be. And then as we head to the weekend, it thins out even more so, and our air quality goes into the good category. We're out of the bad and breathing easier, a sigh of relief for the weekend. Emily?
Good news, Brian. All right, there are several ways you can check the air quality where you live. One is to go to airnow.gov. This is the government site that tracks air quality index. You can enter your zip code and see a specific forecast or check out the national maps. Another site is purpleair.com. It's color-coded. It's a map that lets you easily search the country and zoom in on any region you want. We have links to both of those on our website. Just go to thenationaldesk.com and click on the National Weather Desk. All right, El Nino has arrived. That's the word from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA. El Nino is a natural phenomenon that happens in the Pacific Ocean. It replaces La Nina, which has been prevalent for the past few years. Now, El Nino typically brings warmer than average temperatures around much of the world, and some places could see more rain, but it also leads to fewer Atlantic hurricanes because of additional wind shear. In Rhode Island, efforts are underway to make sure the state is better prepared to take on future wildfires at home and beyond. Gabrielle Caracciolo has more.
This training is something that we wanted to do for a long time. We want to build capacity in the state. We want more firefighters, more boots on the ground.
For the first time in about 30 years, an entry-level wildland firefighter certification course is being taught in Rhode Island.
I'm really excited about it.
The firefighters rotate through different stations, learning hands-on skills to help fight wildfires, like this water use training.
They'll be using some forestry hose, some portable pumps, and the different appliances that go with that.
They have a campfire, so to speak, being lit, and they actually just took a live log out that was on fire, placed it out, and had our crew put it out.
The importance of learning these techniques highlighted by recent wildfires.
The West Greenwich and Exeter fires only solidify that we need more people to help with these situations.
It was those fires that inspired CJ Pagliata to sign up.
Day of the fire, actually, we're driving back from Newport, and you can see the smoke coming over the highway. So seeing something like that happen in your state makes you want to be able to give a hand.
Once certified, he and the other 26 people taking the course will be able to help if and when wildfires spark in Rhode Island and beyond.
That's what this class is for, to try to build capacity, not just for firefighting efforts here, but to help our partners as well.
In Nevada, lakes and streams are quickly rising thanks to snowmelt and large amounts of rain. But a lake a 2-hour drive south of Reno is seeing more than just an increase in its water level. We get the story from Kim Burrows.
Walker Lake, a desert gem in Mineral County. Its history rich.
For our indigenous community, water is life. It is everything for us, for our people, our animals, our environment, our lake.
For the second time in a decade, Walker River is flowing into the lake. That's a big deal. The water level has already come up 7 feet this spring, but that's nothing compared to the lake level here in 1962, or this level in 1958, or this lake level all the way up here from 1908.
Since European arrival, Walker Lake has lost 90% of its volume, or about 50% of its surface area. And that's due to upstream diversions for agriculture. So it used to be about half the size, surface area, of Lake Tahoe. Today it's 1/4 the size.
Water is diverted upstream for crops, and over the years the drought has taken a toll. As water levels drop, salt is left behind. That has killed off almost all fish and stopped most of the bird population from visiting.
The last trout came out of Walker Lake about 2009. The last loon festival was held at Walker Lake in 2000.
This year, the increased water flows are encouraging for the surrounding communities.
Everybody's thrilled.
The wildlife and the culture. The experts believe the lake will rise at least 15 feet into the fall.
Mosquito season is here, and it could be one of the worst in years across the West. That's because snowmelt from the really wet spring is filling up streams and rivers, which means a lot of places for mosquitoes to breed. Joe English has more.
If mosquitoes make you squeamish, well, you may not want to be looking at this picture. There's about 10,000 of the insects on this plate, trapped by Multnomah County Vector Control, trapping more this year than in years past.
Because of the warm weather, the mosquito development can be really accelerated. And so what we're seeing is to this date, if you compare the 5 years past, we have collected more mosquitoes than we have within that 5-year span.
Well, right now we're seeing what's called floodwater mosquitoes, more likely to run into them along a riverbank or the wetlands, but they can breed anywhere there's water and people to bite. But infestation may not be around all that long.
However, it is very weather and temperature dependent, and that can actually change. So if we continue having a very dry, kind of rainless summer, we could actually see mosquito numbers drop going into July and into the end of the year, as long as those areas are not being re-wetted and re-flooded.
To protect yourself, the old standbys still apply. Wear long sleeve pants and shirts, don't go out at dusk, and wear mosquito repellent wherever your skin is exposed.
If you're out exploring the woodlands and stuff, is just avoid disturbing a lot of the standing grasses and dense foliage, because that's where they're sitting. And if you disturb it, they'll come out and bite you.
A Florida teenager who survived a frightening encounter with a bull shark last month is honored by folks in her hometown. Dylan Huberman also reports they're making sure the 13-year-old surfer rides the ocean waves in style.
13-year-old Ella Reed might be one of the toughest kids on the Treasure Coast.
It didn't really hurt that much because I guess the adrenaline and stuff.
She was in the water at Fort Pierce Inlet State Park in May when a bull shark bit her arm, stomach, finger, and knee. In a potentially life-saving move, she punched the shark and was able to make it back to shore.
At first, I was just standing there because I didn't really know what happened. And then afterwards, I was kind of like shocked that it actually happened. And I kind of thought it was cool, like getting bit by a shark.
Thursday at the Pelican Yacht Club, the community rallied around her, honoring her with a membership to the Treasure Coast Board Riders Club and a $600 gift certificate for a new surfboard.
It's so radical to hear that she was local and that her drive to get back out there. She's a fearless young lady. And I mean, her story speaks on the behalf of how fearless she is. And it's very inspiring for us as a shop and us as a community.
Ella says she has already gotten back in the water and is even surfing since her stitches are now out. She says she's been surfing her whole life, but she's never had her own board, just hand-me-downs.
It'll be like really cool having a new board because I've always kind of used my brother's old boards while surfing, so it'll be cool to have one of my own.
Tourists are flocking to Hawaii's Volcano National Park to witness the eruption of the Kilauea volcano. More than 10,000 visited the park on Wednesday. That's triple the normal numbers. So if you're headed to the Big Island, expect crowds and traffic. Lava is still flowing out of the volcano's crater, but it's confined to an area already closed to guests. All right, coming up on the National Weather Desk, we'll take a look at how lightning is formed and find out why officials in Utah are using explosives to get rid of ice.
I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti with a look at the Northeast. We're starting to see some improvement from that thick smoke in the Northeast in the coming days. Today, we expect temperatures in the 60s and 70s, which is still seasonably cool, but some improvement should be expected here. Notice a lot of clouds out there this afternoon. This is 2 o'clock, and there will be a bunch of pop-up showers, maybe even a rumble of thunder. That upper low is slow to move out. Even on Saturday, our greatest chance for a shower or thunderstorm early in the weekend will be in New England.
I'm meteorologist Jonathan Myers, and here's a look at the Mid-Atlantic region. As we work our way through Friday, notice some spot showers and storms developing into the midday and afternoon hours. Should end as we head into the evening, but this is finally going to be the means to an end to get rid of some of the smoky and hazy conditions that a lot of us have been seeing as we work into the weekend. 76 in Baltimore during the day, 80 degrees for a high temperature at Richmond, much warmer and clearer for the weekend. That's the scene here.
Good Friday morning to you. I'm meteorologist Michael Ehrenberg with a look at your Southeast regional forecast for this Friday. We see an unseasonably strong cool front dipping through the areas from Georgia, through Mississippi and Alabama, with us some clouds and spotty showers. Meanwhile, numerous showers will pop up along the sea breezes across much of the state of Florida, from Jacksonville all the way down to West Palm Beach and also the Miami area. Temperatures will be mostly in the 80s, drier here north of the front, with 90s for most of Central and South Florida.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
A recent sunset in Maryland at the height of the wildfire smoke from Canada, which is still blanketing a swath of the East Coast today. And this scene outside the San Antonio area as storms rolled through Thursday, dropping quarter to golf ball sized hail in some places. And check out this mostly cloudy sunrise out of California's Mojave Desert.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
The Trinity National Forest in Northern California saw 3 separate wildfires earlier this week, and all were caused by lightning. Thankfully, conditions are favorable right now, so the fires were able to be contained rather quickly. But as temperatures continue to warm and summer thunderstorms increase, more wildfires from lightning are likely. But exactly how does lightning form? Meteorologist Mitchell Coombs breaks it down.
Lightning is one of the greatest concerns regarding thunderstorms. Forecasting where and when lightning will strike is not yet possible, but by learning about lightning and following a few safety tips, you and your family can avoid the danger of one of the most unpredictable forces of nature.
In the world of electricity, opposites attract and insulators inhibit. The atmosphere is a very good insulator, so a tremendous amount of charge must build up before lightning can occur. A stroke of lightning begins as a channel of negative charge known as a stepped leader that descends towards the surface from the base of the cloud. At the same time, positive charge will reach up towards that negative charge in what is known as a streamer.
When these channels connect, the resulting electrical transfer is what we see as lightning. All of this occurs extremely quickly, in less time than it takes to blink our eyes.
After the initial lightning stroke, if enough charge is left over, additional strokes will pass through the same channel and give the bolt its flickering appearance. The most common types of lightning strikes are cloud to ground, intracloud, and cloud to cloud.
As for the dangers of lightning, we need to pay close attention to the weather as we enter the summer months and outdoor recreation increases, because the lightning-related fatalities increase in this period as well. The best advice to take regarding lightning is when thunder roars, go indoors, preferably to a sturdy structure.
All right, combine severe thunderstorms with cameras that are now everywhere, from our phones to our front doors. We're seeing a lot more crazy moments caught on camera. That's what happened earlier this week in Redding, California, when a Ring doorbell captured the moment a tree was struck by lightning and crashed through a home's roof. Tyler Van Dyke has their story.
That is Mike Krissinger's neighbor's tree getting struck by a bolt of lightning and falling onto his roof.
I didn't initially know that the tree had gone into the neighbor's roof or anything like that until, he called and he said, "Hey man, the tree is in my dining room right now."
Krissinger says he didn't know his neighbor's tree was struck right away.
Watching it get closer and closer, we had a couple strikes that were very close and very loud, rattled the house windows. I saw my neighbors running for cover, and I did the same. And like I said, I didn't know until I was running up inside of the house, that it had actually hit the tree and pierced the roof.
Krissinger's neighbor Dylan Jajian recalls his experience when the bolt struck.
It was pretty crazy to see, something like that, especially five feet away from me.
Finally, Krissinger is just happy it wasn't worse.
Could have been worse. We're all still here, but it was a very close call. I mean, I don't know how often that happens, but the odds of it, I think, are very, very slim.
In Utah, it's not thunder that's causing a bang, it's explosives. After months of warning people to stop climbing avalanche debris from this year's wild winter that moved down the mountains and covered the Provo River, crews have blown it up. Officials say they were concerned the ice bridge would shatter while someone was on it. Paul Nelson has that story.
This behind me might look like relatively steady ground, but it's actually fragile ice that's melting, getting weaker by the second. So crews from Utah County are blowing it up to make it so people stop climbing on it. With a couple of blasts loud enough to fill Provo Canyon, the Utah County Sheriff's Office has gotten rid of a dangerous yet still tempting debris flow that hikers had been climbing on despite the warnings. Bicyclists like Gene Bergman saw hikers just a few weeks ago, saying the pile of mud and ice appeared stable at first glance.
But the other day when I came up here, I could tell it was precarious.
Utah County Sheriff Sergeant Spencer Cannon says just last week, one man jumped through a hole in the ice, swam in the frigid Provo River, and posted a video about it to social media. So they decided to get rid of it completely.
We should be able to remove that span so that there's one less danger here that people can get curious about.
Cannon says this avalanche debris was never as safe as it looked.
They may think they're standing on 10 or 15 feet of snow, when in reality they're standing on maybe 2 inches of snow and a 10-foot or 15-foot drop below them.
If it is as dangerous as it sounds, why hasn't this span already been removed before now?
In the previous months leading up to where we are now, the volume of snow and ice there was just too big for us to even be able to, the amount of explosives it would have taken to remove that was far more than what it would have been worth.
Blowing this up was dangerous also. Peter Quittner with the Utah County Sheriff's Office says explosives like this can make softball-sized rocks travel 4 to 5 times faster than high-powered bullets. Plus, ice is notoriously hard to blow up.
There's a lot of air voids in there, and that reduces the amount of work we can get out of those explosives.
The improving air quality means tomorrow's Belmont Stakes remain on schedule. Racing at the New York track was suspended yesterday because of the smoke. Now, there will be restrictions if the air quality index is over 150, and racing would actually be canceled if it tops 200. But that's not expected to happen. Right now, the forecast for tomorrow looks pretty good. Just a few afternoon clouds and a high of 70 degrees. And here's a few other events taking place this weekend.
Looking for something to do this weekend that's out of this world? Well, maybe the Spruce Pine Alien Festival is for you. The weather looks absolutely gorgeous. It will be warm and dry with highs right around 80 degrees. It's a family-friendly event. There are inflatables, games for the kids, a costume contest, lots of food vendors, and much, much more. If you'd like more information, just go to sprucepinealienfestival.com.
Well, the biggest music festival on the East Coast comes to Myrtle Beach this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 35,000 people will attend the festival on those 3 nights to see Kenny Chesney and Miranda Lambert. And the weather could not be better. No rain for Friday and Saturday with comfortable temperature readings and only a small chance of a shower storm on Sunday.
Well, it's that time of year for us here again in eastern North Carolina for the 65th annual Big Rock Blue Marlin Fishing Tournament off of our coast. What is it? Well, it's competing for whoever can get the biggest marlin. Has to be more than 400 pounds in a certain geographic area out near the Baltimore Trench. It starts this weekend with the Ladies Angler Tournament. That'll kick off tomorrow. Should be fairly nice boating conditions, 3 to 4 foot seas, northwesterly winds 10 knots offshore. And at the dock for the weigh-in, we're looking at those temperatures into the 80s.
Drag racing returning to Bristol, Tennessee this weekend. NHRA Thunder Valley Nationals coming up with lots of racing action, and the weather is looking perfect for Friday and Saturday. Cool nights and sunny, warm afternoons in the upper 70s to low 80s. Humidity will return Sunday. Could be an afternoon thunderstorm.
Now time for a short break. As we go, let's take a look at the views of Renard Island in Green Bay. Fun fact about the island, it was created by U.S. Army as a disposal site for dredged material taken from a nearby river.
Well, a very good Friday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buck-Michael. Taking a look at your weather story across the Midwest for the next couple of days here. Got some scattered showers and storms out across the plains, but most of the Ohio Valley continuing to stay dry for the day today. But that changes because the rain out to the west slowly starts moving its way back to the east as we head into your Saturday and your Sunday as well. The rain continuing to move its way back towards the Ohio Valley. And a lot of these areas desperately need the rain, so enjoy all that you can get.
Good Friday morning to you. Meteorologist Chris Suche. Look at our forecast today across the region, and we'll be on the lookout for a few storms with a marginal severe weather risk. Portions of Texas into Oklahoma. We'll see some showers and thunderstorms, Arkansas, and spotty into Louisiana. Notice the temperatures, too. 80s and 90s. Starting to get a little on the hotter side as we step into the weekend. Here's Saturday. There is a bit of a severe weather risk for wind and hail. Chunk of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana. And, of course, we'll have those hot afternoon temperatures.
Well, hi there, everybody, and TGIF. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. Time for a cool change in parts of the western United States, namely the Pacific Northwest. We've got that area of low pressure, current weather maker that has been bringing the daily thunderstorms to the Sierra, spinning back on up into the Pacific Northwest. Only 58 with rain at times today around Seattle and 60s out of Portland. You can see the showers pushing through Spokane and Boise at times today as well. And that's the scene from here.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
Well, we haven't reached the official start of summer just yet, but it's still pretty hot out there. And as we head into the weekend, we want to remind you of ways to stay safe in the sun. Here's a recent post from meteorologist Natalie Walters, as she did on TikTok.
Summer is almost here, which means the sun's rays are getting even stronger. So here are 5 ways you can protect yourself from the sun. First thing is find the shade that may be under a tree, or you can bring an umbrella to bring your own shade as well. Next, you'll want to wear a hat, preferably a full brim hat that will also protect your neck and your ears. Wear sunglasses. You want to protect your eyes from the sun too. Wear clothing with UV protection, and the number one thing is sunscreen.
All right, we want you to share your weather content on the air with us. Now, you can find us on all your favorite social media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search at NatWXDesk or the National Weather Desk. Also, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, you should check out our podcast, Off the Radar. On this week's episode, you can find out why the Northern Lights make noise and hear exactly what they sound like. You can find Off the Radar wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll be right back. Thanks for joining us. Monday on the National Weather Desk, we'll find out all about NASA's upcoming mission to explore Venus. Don't miss it. I'm meteorologist Emily Gracie. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.